What's going on, Nerd Nation? Welcome back to episode 16. Yes, that's right, 16 of the Comic Book Nerd Nation. We have now been around for 4 months. I can't believe it. I feel like I'm a senior citizen dealing with these assholes. That's all right. Let me introduce everybody real quick here. I'm Fox2. We got the Pirate.
What up, motherfuckers?
We got Topher.
Don't fall and break a hip.
And the whole effing Brian.
You're all fucking old.
Oh, God, we got a bunch of dicks today. Anyway, before we jump into the episode this week...
and that's just at your house.
Yeah, God. Anyway, let me jump in and just do some quick housekeeping, give you guys, the Nerd Nation, some updates on what's going on with our podcast, our brand, where you can see our goofy faces a little bit more if you want to. We have... First of all, right now, pause this video and go to facebook.com/comicbooknerdnation. There is tons of funny stuff, memes, links to stories, news in the comic book world, links to artist pages, feedback from different artists, including Sean Forney that you saw last week on the podcast. All kinds of good stuff on there. Make sure you click the like button and stay tuned for updates. We're going to have all kinds of good stuff coming through the Facebook page. Besides that, we now have Twitter. We now have Instagram. Make sure you search those. We're going to put some links up on the Facebook page as to where you can find those. The big news of the hour is comicbooknerdnation.com is now live. It is still in its infancy stages. We're still working things out, but we do have the forums up and running. All you have to do is go to comicbooknerdnation.com, click on the big-ass logo that's going to pop up right in front of your face, and sign up because it's free. And why wouldn't you do it? Everybody loves free shit. You can get on there. You can talk with us, give us feedback, give us suggestions for future episodes. You can stay tuned to all kinds of goofy shit. We have tons of stuff that's going to be going on the forums, and the rest of the website will be coming live soon. Finally, the last piece of news is that very, very soon, with the birth of the website, will also come the birth of the iTunes, Stitcher, and potentially Google Play versions of this podcast. So you can get a little bit of nerdy goodness wherever you want, whenever you want. Yeah, that pretty much covers it, I think. Did I miss anything, guys? No. Peanut gallery, nothing? Man. Nothing? Okay. All right. So let's jump right in. Let's start talking about some comic books. Enough of me. Let's talk to Brian. What have you been reading this week?
This week was the release of Forever Evil number 6.
Nightwing on the cover.
Issue.
Badass cover. Badass
He's into
cover.
some bondage. Look at that.
He is.
He's like, oh,
I wonder if he was hanging
spank
out
me,
with...
Daddy, spank me.
What's the syndicate version of Wonder Woman? Is it Superwoman?
Yeah, I think it's
I
Superwoman.
think he's been hanging out with Superwoman a little too much.
But this
saying.
issue, there was a lot of reveals. I don't know if I should spoil something.
Hang on, I have a question before you go go too far. Is Wonder Woman... Okay, so Wonder Woman has Lasso of Truth. Does Superwoman have, like, the Lasso of Lies or, like, Lasso of Deceit or something?
The lasso of bitch.
The bitch lasso.
No, it's like it's like an energy draining thing or something like that. Didn't she snatch one up in 6?
I'm just being goofy.
And said something.
Yeah, why do you have?
Why you gotta?
Why so serious?
Oh, I'm
so
sorry.
serious?
I didn't know we was talking about like real things involving comic books, not fictional things involving comic books.
Oh, right, because
Proceed
facts
with the bullshit.
are so important.
Judging from that cover, it looks like the lasso of bondage.
There we go. Now we're talking. That's a comic book.
Just
I
snatch
buy.
and grab, bitches.
They're always in leather tights, so you know.
All right, so go ahead. No, go ahead and lay it on us. Forever Evil 6.
This issue, a lot of things were revealed. The prisoner was revealed that the crime syndicate had tied up. We saw the Injustice League, Lex Luthor, Batman, and all the rest of them go after Nightwing. We saw the potential fate of Nightwing.
Yeah. What did you think of that? Spoilers.
Spoiler alert. You know what? I think Luthor was smothered him just to get his heart to stop, just so they could remove the bomb and then revive him. But since Batman, got all pissy and bitchy, The longer that they left Nightwing like that, they couldn't revive him.
Do you think he's going to be dead?
No, I think Owlman's gonna save him because
Even though knowing that they're going a different direction with the Nightwing stuff.
yeah, I think they're either gonna change his identity or he's gonna go underground and not
something
maybe
else.
not disappear as for comics, but maybe just
Find a different
like,
role.
just be
See, I
more underground and hidden.
Now that the Oracle is no longer the Oracle and she's back to being,
So maybe he
Batgirl,
could
there's
be.
now
Or,
it's-
that's what
there-
I was thinking.
There's a seat open.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, maybe, Barbara
Oh,
Gordon.
nobody got that
is-
joke? Nobody? Really?
Whatever.
Seat open.
No, with Batgirl, or with Barbara Gordon being Batgirl, and like you said, the Oracle spot is open. I think that there's potential. If Nightwing doesn't die, that potentially they will move him over and make him fill some sort of role similar to that. Maybe not that exact same thing, but something. I don't
I
know.
couldn't see Dick being that dude at all.
I don't know.
He's just too much of a. I mean, it would be a shock. I'm not saying
You
they
gotta
wouldn't
you gotta
do it
think too
because
though,
with
like how much
Batgirl
has
and Oracle and all that-
has his psyche been damaged with the experience? I mean, he had a bomb laced into his
Oh
heart.
yeah, the
I
murder
mean,
machine.
that's-
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's pretty damaged at this point. Psychologically, he might be ready for, a little bit of upper level offensive coordinator type of position.
In
Just
the
saying.
new 52, I mean, in the old comics, I wouldn't have put it past it. But in the new 50, in the old comics, I would have said no way. But with DC and the new 52, they've
Never
done so
know.
many different
You
things that
never
fucking
know.
Yeah.
that I would have been like, no way, and they're doing it. So it's like, well, okay, well, could happen. Fuck it.
Brian, what else? Chris, you can come on back to us, Topher. So Brian, what else you been reading? Anything else other than Forever Evil?
I actually picked up and just finished reading it, American Vampire by
Oh, is that that's Scott? Oh, that's the one you were
Scott
telling me about.
Snyder
Yeah.
and Stephen King. It's basically about it's a twist, a different twist on vampires. Like,
They don't sparkle
Do
in
they
the sunshine.
no, they don't sparkle. They
Fuck.
don't turn to glitter dust. They don't.
I don't know if I can.
deer.
Do they make out with like werewolves and shit, or
No, there's
I
no
can't.
way.
I don't
Checking them into Pound Town.
There's
I don't want anything to do
no chick from Portland.
Yeah, what's her name? Nobody even knows her
awkward.
name. What's her name?
I don't know. She doesn't
Bella.
smile.
Huh?
Who? Chick from Portland?
Bella.
No, what's her?
No.
What's the actress's name though?
Oh.
Oh, the girl that was in Snow White.
Christine Stewart.
Yeah, Kristen Stewart. Like, what? There's no Kristen
No.
Stewart in here. Well, then it's obviously not a real vampire story.
Is there somebody
Shit.
who constantly bites their lip and puts their fucking hair behind their ear? Like when they're in deep thought?
That's the
Because
that's
I
the
can't
Kristen
relate to
Stewart
vampires
stand-in.
unless there's some type of damsel doing that.
You sound like
So how
you've
was
seen
that?
it.
How was
There's
the
no Sookie either.
how was the book though?
Oh, fuck.
The book was really good. I mean, Scott Snyder writes one story, and Stephen King writes another part, and they go back and forth between each of their stories. It's like a different twist on vampires. You have first part takes place in the Old West, and you have these European vampires, and something happens where this outlaw gets some of their blood on him, soaks into him, and he dies, and he comes back as an American vampire, which is totally different. They don't have the same weaknesses.
He's
The
fat
only
and overweight.
yeah, he likes donuts, and then
And he no longer likes football. He likes, or no longer likes soccer. He likes football.
the American vampires are different. They don't have the same weaknesses. They could go out in the sun and not sparkle.
Ooh.
But it's a really good story. It's
So
this
is
was
it
only
worth picking up?
oh definitely. This is only volume 1. I'm gonna probably purchase. I think there's 5 volumes out so far. I'm probably gonna make my way through each and every one of them.
Keep us updated for sure. I
Yeah.
think I'm going to put that on my.
It's definitely
to
worth
purchase
picking
list.
up and reading.
Topher, what about you? What have you been reading this week? Are you still in the X Quest?
I've been reading this amazing series about a normal everyday guy who is so fed up with his life of constantly going to work every day and then never having any free time that
So you keep a journal.
all he does is just, wait
Captain's
until
log.
the weekend when he can have a few minutes to like shoot a podcast or something.
Captain's
and then
log,
even then,
Stardate Wednesday. I hate my motherfucking life. I have to go
But
to work
the-
again.
the villains in this series are there's this dude who wears glasses and has a beard, and he's like this cruel taskmaster who carries a whip, and he's always walking around. How's the website coming? Are we up on iTunes yet?
My glasses.
It's brutal.
Glasses look pretty good on me. Let me comb my beard out here a little bit. Yeah. So, no, I understand. In all honesty, I understand. Sometimes we are busy. Those of you that are watching this, you might not know, we all work full-time jobs. Surprise, surprise. We don't get to just sit around, go to comic book stores, read comic books all day long. We all have full-time jobs, sometimes more than full-time jobs, and it doesn't necessarily always allow us to read as much stuff as we really want. So, yeah, I get it. I get
I don't
it.
think I've actually read a comic book in like 3 weeks, which really sucks.
That sucks.
But,
You have,
Wait,
you
we're
have
not
homework. After
wait.
this, read
I
some
know.
comics.
You mean we're not getting paid for this?
Not,
No,
as of
no.
yet, we have not received any red cent from this at all. So,
Shit!
damn, I can't quit
We're
my
doing
job.
it wrong.
We're
I'm
doing
putting
this
in my
wrong.
5-month resignation.
5-month
right now.
resignation. Nice.
Well, you mentioned my X Quest though, so I'll at least tell you where I last left off. Which,
yeah.
I was up to 1987, actually, the first big crossover event that hit most of the X books was called the Mutant Massacre, and I think it's actually where he hasn't been revealed yet, but Mr. Sinister is about to make an appearance, and he puts together a group of mutant-hating mutants who called the Marauders, who basically go into the sewers underneath New York City and just slaughter all the Morlocks down there. And it was really interesting to me because, having read everything up to that point, like there's a lot of the 60s was a lot of like I don't want to say silly stories, but everything was a lot more lighthearted back then. Even in the 70s, there was like a character maybe who died here and there, but most of the stories seemed more intent on teaching lessons and all this, than like, just wholesale dark, the whole dark slaughter thing just didn't really appear yet. But now at this point, you've got the main Uncanny X-Men title, you've got the New Mutants, which is like the younger team, and then you've got X Factor, which is a book that had just started right before that event, where it's the original X-Men. Jean Grey's come back after the Phoenix dies, and Cyclops leaves the main X-Men, and then the original team start to put together this other little side group called X Factor, and it was kind of cool because this is the first time there was like you could see the same event from multiple different perspectives.
Converging
like
storylines.
they sometimes you'd have characters cross over into another book, like they'd make an appearance in somebody else's storyline, but never was there like an event that actually spanned multiple different titles, and you could see what this team was doing there and what this team
That's
was
cool.
doing, and it was actually really interesting. So I actually really enjoyed that, and it was pretty neat. So that being said, I think I'm not happy not being current on all the latest developments. So I think my X Quest might actually get put on hold, and I started reading. Well, that's not true. I did read a book this week. I read Prelude to Schism, the X-Men. Which was back in like 08, 09 or something, leading up to a fight where Cyclops and Wolverine basically take different sides, and
No, those two?
they
No.
well, they were getting along for a long time, but this is kind of the breakup, and then leads to the whole
Do they have
you
makeup
currently
sex?
have you currently have, Uncanny X-Men, and you've got Wolverine and the X-Men, and they're on two different sides of the country. So I decided to start there and read that through AVX and try and catch up on the current stuff before I go back and fill in all the blanks. Because at this rate, I'm not going to finish for like 10 years. So.
Well, you never know. That being said, before we get to what Pirate's reading, if any of you are big X-Men fans that are out there, make sure you stop over to the forums and drop a line to our resident X-Men expert, if you will, and to quiz him a little bit. I would venture to say that Topher's got some pretty extensive knowledge. Maybe.
I see what you did there.
So yeah, challenge to those that are listening. If you feel like you know a lot about X-Men, make sure you stop over to the forum and test them out. See what's going on there. Pirate, what about you? What are you reading this week? Or lately?
Let's see. This week, issue 4 of Night of the Living Deadpool. Read that. I'm really digging that. It's kind of has a feel of I don't know. It's kind of Walking Dead meets just.
There's really no good way to describe Deadpool other than it's Deadpool.
Right.
Like,
you know what I mean? He passes out at all you can eat chimichanga night at his favorite Mexican restaurant, wakes up, and then like it's the zombie outbreak. But what they do with the zombies is really cool. Like it's not like just all undead are able to walk the earth and eat brains, but then the ones that are walking, it's all fresh dead, and they still retain their memories. And like while they're walking around, they're like, oh, kill me, I'm in misery, but I can't stop myself. You know what I mean? So there's interactions between the zombies.
So they're still somewhat coherent, even though they're.
So it's really cool how they kind of wrote that in there. And then Deadpool becomes a zombie, but because of his regeneration factor, he ends up he kind of shakes off the disease and then goes back to being normal after he done killed an entire fucking village, which is it's very Deadpool-esque, like Deadpool's that type of guy who'd fucking just get really fucked up and then wake up and realize he just slaughtered a bunch of people or something, like it's cool because then it kind of fucks with his mentality too, as if it's not already been, but they always kind of throw that in there like, oh man, I woke up from a chimichanga all you can eat, it's the zombie apocalypse, I get bit by a zombie, I kill a village, and then think as a zombie, and then I, have to I wake back up, revert myself, and have to kill all the people that I just killed again. So it's
is this its own
book?
Is this its own separate side story, or did this come out of the whole Deadpool kills Deadpool thing?
No, it's not. It's its own separate side story because they're not doing the Deadpool kills Deadpool's older. They're on Deadpool vs. Shield. They just finished up, and
they're getting ready to
they're
move to
running
the
this
wedding.
one in sidebar with Deadpool versus Shield just ending. So this is 1 through 4, I think they're on right now, and then Deadpool versus Shield, I think finished up in like 24 of volume 3.
Well,
I think whatever volume.
There's the main Deadpool in continuity stories, and then a while back they started they did like a kind of like a what if like alternate universe where it was Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. And it was really cool because it was basically Deadpool going around and fighting, most of the major characters and killing everybody. And then that went into a series called Deadpool Killustrated, where he actually he broke out of the comic book world and into like the real world and
Novels.
was trying to free himself by by fighting his way through classic stories from literature. So like he goes into like Moby Dick and Sherlock Holmes and Tom Sawyer and these and causes havoc like in these other stories. And then like I haven't finished reading that one yet, but then it goes into like Deadpool kills Deadpool, and he figures the only way he can really be free is to kill himself. And so I thought maybe Night of the Living Deadpool being zombie Deadpool was kind of like the next in that series.
No, it's not. It's not off that. It's a completely separate thing because I have the Deadpool kills Deadpool, but I don't have the pre-ones that are all based off of that, like you said, throughout the history ones. But this as the way it stands, that I'm understanding the impression of it right now is that it's its own entity type thing, and I think it's Marvel's Walking Dead. I mean, I don't want to say it's like that great, but You know what I mean? It's their own kind of like running.
What? Somebody trying to piggyback off something else that's popular?
Yeah,
No.
well, like
That doesn't
Walking Dead didn't
happen.
piggyback off George Romero or anything. But,
right, right.
It is what it is. But yeah, no, it's only 4 issues and it's pretty good. Last issue was kind of slow, just because he had woken up from his zombie fucking shit. And
is it a short series or is it going to be a full continuing run?
I don't know how many runs they're doing with it.
I think they might be
I don't
6.
know.
Six episodes or 6 issues or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and they just released 4 last week.
Okay.
As of recording right now.
Anything else you're running or reading?
What else was I reading?
I don't know. You tell me.
Oh, I went back and really wanted to, because I was going through some old movies and I was like, I read or I watched the Losers, which is this.
I don't
the
think I've
movie
seen
about-
that.
I'm pretty sure you said. I think we watched it at my apartment a couple years ago when it first came out.
And then made out and
We probably
Like
tongue-kissed.
2010 or something like that. But it's got Chris Evans, Captain America's in it, and shit like that. But I went back and I was like, you know what? I've always been a fan of the Losers, and I really wanted to go back and read. And I have the original series comics of the movie-based Losers. So I was like, I want to go back and read Andy Diggle's work on it. And Andy Diggle's, I'm a huge fan of him. I mean, he wrote the Green Arrow Year One, the 6 or 7 issues.
If you're watching this, Andy Diggle, please come be a guest.
Yeah.
Selfless
But,
pitch.
But yeah,
not.
I really like his work. Yeah, the way he writes stuff. It was especially the Green Arrow Year One, which the show, the Arrow. I know we always bring it up, but I mean, the show, the Arrow, was based like the island scenes are pretty much based. I mean, at least the initial ones, not without Deathstroke and all that, but the initial concept was based off that Year One.
That's awesome.
And it's really weird too that Andy Diggle wrote that. They have a character that was implemented called Diggle.
Yeah. Maybe a little homage to the.
Right. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
You never know. So this week, I'm sorry. Were you? Is that it or
No, that's all. Yeah, I was finished. I mean, I was just saying
okay.
that I was reading the Losers movie series, not the original comic book series.
I got you.
The
So
DC Vertigo series.
for me, reading this week, the last while has been a little bit limited. Kind of like Topher, I've been a little bit busy and just lots of stuff going on. Haven't had a chance to read. One thing that I've read since we've last talked about him is this Batman Hush. I know it's totally backwards because I'm filming this, but you can all deal with that.
Hasua.
This graphic novel is amazing.
Namtab Shua.
Right. It's incredible. Written by Jeff Loeb, illustrations by Jim Lee. The artwork in this book is incredible. You get to see so many of your favorite characters. The Riddler, the Joker, Poison Ivy, Superman, Batman. Of course, Alfred's in there. Catwoman. It just pulls. Killer Croc is in it. It pulls so many so many characters into the same storyline. And Brian, you've read this one as well. I would venture to say this is one of the more intricate in the way that they kind of intertwine different happenings within the same story. Would you?
yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, but it's written in the way that it's not like you don't get
Get
overwhelmed.
lost. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very readable. It's very enticing. You get to an end of a section and you can't wait to find out what the next quote unquote event is going to be, and it really it's one of those books that really draws you on to keep reading. A lot like TV episodes, they leave you at a spot where you're like, oh fuck, I can't wait to see what next week's gonna be.
Next week,
Yeah.
cliffhanger!
Exactly. If you're a Batman fan and you haven't read Batman Hush, I would highly recommend it. It's amazing.
If you're a Batman fan, you should read anything Jeff Loeb has done.
Well,
The guy-
yeah,
Wolf
there
of
is that.
Commando,
But I mean, if either of you guys haven't read it, definitely let me know, and I'll bring it in, and you guys can read it. The other thing that I've been reading lately, Joker, Death of the Family. I'm not quite finished with this. About 60% of the way through. I like it. For me, I haven't read a lot of the Batman family comic books, meaning like Batgirl, Nightwing. I think there's I can't even remember all of the
Red Hood and the Outlaws.
Red Hood and the Outlaws. There's
Batwing.
so
Teen
many.
Titans.
Detective Comics.
Yeah. I mean, there's just so many different comics that are a part of this book, but it's really interesting to see it all from the different perspectives of the different characters of the Bat family. I mean, I'm 60% of the way through this book, and Batman has not yet made an appearance, and I'm still really, really interested. And I'm reading it because I'm a Batman fan. I'm a huge, as you can tell by the shirt, I'm a huge Joker fan too. I like him as a character. Definitely, as far as a interest on the reading level, I really, really enjoy reading.
I just thought you never did laundry.
No, I never do laundry either. I mean, that's a whole nother topic. But no, honestly though, like the Joker, I don't know about the earlier Joker stuff where he was a little bit more of a slapstick type of character, but the darker, more sinister Joker, I want to say that Neil Adams kind of took him in that direction, honestly, but I don't know 100% for sure. But I really, really enjoy reading, like the Killing Joke style of Joker, where he's just very, very intelligent, very, very sadistic, and just twisted, and it makes for a really good storyline. I think
I like
Brian
the part.
was about to yawn there. Am I boring you that much?
No.
I see how it is, asshole.
Long night. I like all the stuff that I have to take.
Are you falling? Are you falling? Are you falling?
It feels like
No,
he's falling
I just
asleep
had
in
a brain-
mid-sentence.
Literally
I just had
sounds
a
like
brain-
he's
You
falling
call it
asleep
narcolepsy.
while he's talking.
I like all the stuff.
I like
that-
the
It's pretty cool.
No, but I
Right,
like
well,
how
we know
the
who-
story involves like the whole Bat family.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
every single character gets dragged in.
yeah. I agree. I think that's a big part
Except
of.
for Batwoman.
Yeah, well, I
Well,
don't really care
well.
about that one.
Yeah, whatever. But no, it
Thanks.
is. It's interesting. The one, obviously the one character that they all have in common, all the stories have in common, is the Joker, and it makes it really, it's just a different perspective on the Batman universe for a Batman fan like myself that hasn't necessarily branched out and read a bunch of the other Bat family titles that are out there, which, having read some of this, I really enjoyed the Batgirl stuff. I might have to go back and read some of the Batgirl episodes. I thought that was really the issues rather. Those were really interesting.
I've got the first 3 trades of that series, and it's really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to borrow those from you just to test it out and see what I think. So before we bore Mr. F and Brian anymore and put him to sleep, let's get on with the news in the comic book world. I'm sorry, my camera, you guys can't see this, but my camera is just like freaking
Blipping
adjusting in and out like all kinds of time,
Yeah.
all the time. So I apologize.
On my screen, you're not even showing up anymore. But
Yeah, well, it's because I don't like you.
it's for the
That's
it's for the
all right.
best.
Yeah, probably
I'm
is.
actually happy. I wish I could get it to do this every week.
Yeah, shut your mouth when I'm talking to you. Anyway, Brian.
Oh, damn, he's
news.
back.
Let's jump in. I'm gonna lead it off. I want to get your opinion on something because how excited you were about it. And I know this is quite a few weeks old at this point as this video is coming up, but I don't care. I'm still excited about it.
Betty White
Guardians
naked.
of the Galaxy trailer.
I thought it was
Wait,
fucking-
hold on. What did you say?
You said I know you're excited about something, so I said Betty White naked.
Betty White naked. Well, that's cool. I
He has
mean,
92.
that's fine. I mean, she's only like 100
Fucking
years old.
straight up
That's
fucking
whatever.
Prehistoric
That's
cougar.
kind of fucked up, but whatever gets your rocks
Hey,
off.
she looks damn good for her age.
Whatever you gotta do,
Saber-toothed
get your
tiger.
cock up, I guess. Anyway, I was referring to not the prehistoric Betty White, but rather the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer. And
I thought it was great. I mean, I feel like the trailer was made for those who didn't know who the Guardians of the Galaxy were.
which,
like,
in
it
honesty, is
introduced-
most people.
Yeah,
realistically,
which because
I mean, I don't know shit about them.
People.
they're C-list characters, and Marvel's taking a stab at it by making a movie with them to kind of intertwine, the Earth, Marvel, the Avengers, Thor, all that, Shield, to the cosmic Marvel, to kind of get its way to the Infinity Stones and Thanos. But the trailer I thought was great. I thought it was well done. That fucking song was stuck in my head all goddamn
I loved it. I thought, and I don't know, I have not read anything Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know anything about it other than what I saw in the trailer. I want to see the movie already. I think it looks fun. I think
it's gonna earn its worth.
I do too. And the fact that you said it, like, they're C-list characters, and if Marvel can make this work, what can't they make a movie out of at that point?
They'll make it work.
That's
it's gonna
Saying.
work.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if they make this work, they own the fucking comic book. Like, the cinematic comic book universe is now Marvel. Period. Like, if they can make this one work, though, there is no Marvel title that they can't do a movie on and at least make a profit.
They could remake Howard the Duck.
That was a fucking
I was
failure.
so excited.
That was a fucking
Failure. I will come across the screen and slap you.
Have you watched it?
Great movie. Yes. I own it. I love that movie.
Your audio, Pirate, your audio is coming through something awful right now. I'm not gonna lie.
I want to see a Squirrel Girl video.
Like Howard the Duck.
So, any other news, Brian?
I heard somebody, not to interrupt your other news,
go
but I heard somebody describe and I wish I could remember who it was, so I could attribute the quote here, but they're saying if you're trying to describe to your friends what the Guardians of the Galaxy are like, for people who don't read comic books, tell them that it's basically like it's like the comics version of Firefly, except Jane is a raccoon, which I thought is pretty funny. But it doesn't mean anything to you, Fox, because you still never fucking watched Firefly.
God damn it!
Because you're doing it wrong.
I am not doing it wrong. I am not doing it wrong.
Join the Whedon universe.
All right, and we're back. Sorry about that, fans. We had a little bit of technical difficulties on Pirate's end, but that's okay. We got it all figured out and fixed.
He shat his pants.
He might have pooped a little bit. That's okay, though. We are back now. We were discussing the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer. We were just wrapping up talking about that. Any more comments on Guardians of the Galaxy? Anything? Anybody?
I'm stoked. I want to see it.
It's going to be awesome.
I hope it's going to be as comical as well as action-packed as I'm hoping it is.
Oh, it looks like
it absolutely will be.
I think Rocket Raccoon will steal the show.
Yeah. I think so, too.
So, next bit of news. Who's up? Who's got some news for me?
We have another casting. It's a few weeks old, but another casting announcement for Gotham that Jada Pinkett Smith will play the gangster Fish Mooney.
Thoughts?
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I can't stand her.
I think it's a desperate and borderline ridiculous attempt to just get a name, any name that's a big name,
Right.
and get them involved somehow. I hope she has as little screen time as possible.
I doubt that. She's the biggest name in the cast.
I don't give a shit who she is. I think I just don't think she fits.
I mean,
her last good movie was Demon Knight, and that was, I think, her first movie.
Oh, that movie's so good.
I know, you know what I mean? But still, she didn't even make it then, and they're gonna put her as and I don't know what kind of role she's gonna portray in it, but I don't know. I think it's a bad idea.
I do too. I really do. Topher, thoughts? Anything?
I mean, I don't really care one way or the other. I'm still just waiting to see how this thing shapes up and I think the style that they decide to shoot it in and the storyline is going to be a way bigger determination of whether I like it, versus whether that actress isn't my favorite. So
But we can't talk about any of that until they show it. So until off. So go with fucking topic, motherfucker.
Now wait a minute.
Oh, in that
They
case,
casted-
yeah, I hate it. It sucks. This is awful. It's the end of the fucking world.
They casted Bruce Wayne as well. Who's
Oh, I have no idea.
who did
He's a
somebody
12-year-old or
somebody
something.
He's
pull that
just
up for
a
me.
12-year-old
Just
nobody.
just some random ass.
Yeah.
This could make his career though. If you think
No.
about it, I mean,
No, it could ruin his career.
no.
Look
If
at
they
Macaulay
but if they do
Culkin.
it right, if they do this right, this could make his career.
I mean,
he's playing Batman at 12 years old.
Warner Brothers
Bruce
can't
Wayne,
make
not
Warner
Batman.
Brothers
Just
and
saying.
DC can't make good movies, but their TV shows haven't been bad. So you know, we have
This
shows
the
could
are
make
animated
this kid's career.
we have the Constantine. They're making a Constantine show. I thought there was maybe a couple of other too.
There's Constantine.
On
there's
that note, let's
Flash,
let's
Oh,
get some info about the Constantine show.
They
Sylvie
cast
Kyle for it, too.
Constantine. Yeah. What is his name? Does anybody remember his name?
Don
The guy they
Johnson.
cast. No,
You
Why
said you
Johnson?
saw Don Johnson in the trailer.
that's from Dust Till Dawn.
Oh, never mind. Just kidding. Listen to me. I'm gonna take a
They
drink of
cast
my
the
beer.
character for Constantine, which I do like the fact he's a British character, which is more to the original Constantine, and I'm so far I'm liking it, but it's so far out that that's all they got.
What
It's
did
just him.
what did you guys think about the movie Constantine?
Oh,
I loved it.
It looked pretty good, but I just think I can't stand Keanu Reeves. Well, I think
agree.
every time I hear him speak, whether it's Constantine,
Dude.
Matrix, yeah, whoa,
Dude, I know
Wild
Kung Fu.
Stallion.
Kung Fu.
I just can't.
I didn't
I thought
know.
I thought the Constantine movie was great.
I
thought
didn't
it was
know about-
really good.
I had never read the I honestly, even as a comic book fan, did not realize that. I just didn't associate the Constantine movie with the Constantine comic book. I just didn't. It never clicked for me until
Yeah.
not that long ago. I mean, maybe 2 years ago or something like that. But
They changed
I
him.
love the movie. I think
the-
the movie is
the-
freaking awesome. Even
Yeah.
regardless of Keanu Reeves and his,
Whoa.
very, very limited range of acting ability as a character.
Whoa, it's Napoleon.
Yeah, I mean, it's, it's a Keanu Reeves type of role, kind of, but it's good. I mean, I think in that movie, I think he did a pretty good job, and I really like the story. The movie is fucking awesome. I really like it.
The movie was great.
The visual effects, like when he goes in, when he like puts his feet in the water, and he's like holding the cat, and he goes to hell. The visual effects of how they portray hell and stuff, I mean, is just awesome. I think it's really, really, really good.
See, when
Whoa.
that movie came out, my problem
Whoa,
with that
I'm coming
movie-
back from hell.
But when that movie came out and I watched it in theaters, and I remember thinking like, this isn't the comic that I thought of. You know what I mean? Like it didn't really hit me. But then I went home and when it came out to DVD and I started watching it more, I'm like, okay, I kind of this does have a flow to it. But initially the theaters, it was just kind of like, I
he
was so
the
stuck on
douchebag
Keanu
Constantine
Reeves.
is either.
Do what?
The Constantine in the comics is he's a douche. He's a giant douche.
Right, but it was never I just couldn't connect with the character in the movie and the way it was portrayed.
Because you wanted to hear him say "Wild Stallions."
I think
Actually,
that,
I was
think
looking
that
for
the
him to run
thing
around
is
chasing Socrates.
it was really
Fucking
targeted. I think it was really targeted at people like myself who hadn't read the Constantine comic books, and they just liked the story of Constantine, the concept of what him as a character, and they just I don't think they were necessarily trying to hold entirely true to the comics, but just make an interesting movie.
Well, there are a whole
That
lot
has
of
always been a
movies.
problem with DC sub characters. They don't ever try to make DC never, and I think that's why Marvel does so good. Is Marvel's not scared to fucking make characters like that.
Yeah.
DC always, the Losers, for example. They took the Losers and they rewrote them completely different than what the Losers comics were. And what they do, they go back and they have Andy Diggle write a Losers comic. You know what I mean? It's not a matter of. They just always seem. DC always
They
seems
suck.
to kind of undercut the comics and
Yeah.
sell the movie.
I think
Marvel-
I think it
And
boils
even
down
the-
to they're
the
scared.
comic
They're
sells the
scared
movie.
of losing people that aren't comic book fans.
Even
Well,
then, I feel like
Marvel's
the reason
not,
they did it was
obviously.
because there were so many other like movies about supernatural stuff with like religious overtones back then, like Stigmata and all
Oh,
these
yeah.
like
That was a good movie
you know,
too.
it's like
That was
It-
from
I
the
mean, it was-
90s. We're looking like 10 years later, man.
yeah, but like there. I'm not saying it was in the exact same time period, but like there had been like that genre had kind of been established at that point. It was like, oh hey, and they were a little late to the game. I feel
No,
like
there
but
was a rush, like Stigmata,
feel like they were, like-
days and shit.
yeah,
like
I feel
that.
like they were
agree.
trying to cash in on that. It's like, oh hey, these
Bill and
movies
Ted.
sell. Like, oh, we've got a character that's
Bill
kind of
and
like
Ted.
that. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Any other
And
news?
be excellent to each other.
Be excellent.
Party on, Topher. Party on.
Party
Or
on.
you'll go to hell.
What was it?
So
Party on, comic book nerd nation! Wow.
So we're obviously never going to get Keanu Reeves as a guest. That's pretty apparent at this point.
Why not? I'd love to have him.
Just sit here and bash him for fucking 2 hours.
Hey, I like
Why
Keanu
would you
Reeves.
bash him? He's a fucking. I mean,
I'm talking about Brian.
you know what? I've
Brian's
never
going to be
seen
like, "What's up, Keanu?
Well, I mean, when you were on that bus, was it like excellent?
Was it like going fast and stuff, or?"
Did you really hit 55 at all times? Whoa.
God. So,
I'd rather have Ted Theodore Logan on that bitch.
so
No,
any
wait.
other? Is
No,
there
he
any
was
other
Ted Theodore. It
news?
was
in the
Bill
comic
Yeah.
book
Esgerson,
world?
Esquire.
Yeah, so several years ago there was a little TV show that was a lot like comic books that NBC put out called Heroes. Any of you guys watched that?
Dun, dun.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first
They-
season was good. The
I
other
heard
They
the
have-
guy-
seasons were just like.
They have announced that they are going to be resurrecting Heroes a bit, and I don't know if it's going to be a new ongoing series, but they've at least ordered a 13-episode miniseries, season, whatever.
13 episodes is a mini.
I know.
season?
Well, they were calling it like a mini series, but like it's like 13
It's only
episodes, which
pilot
is pretty much a
season.
full season. So I don't know if they're like, if they just want it to be like a one and done kind of thing, or
They're
if,
like, we
you know,
fucked this up
if
so
they're going to
bad
continue
last time.
on. But
We fucked this up so bad
But-
last time. We're scared to say we're gonna fully air it.
We need 13 hours to make amends of what all we did wrong.
Yeah.
they're calling it Heroes Reborn, which I found
Oh.
kind of interesting because that's actually the name of a Marvel event crossover from
Yeah.
15 years ago.
Do we have any news on the Marvel front? Speaking of Marvel, with the Age of Ultron movie that's out there, and the Winter Soldier's coming up, and all of that. Do we have any news on that front? Anybody?
Winter Soldier comes out like next week.
Does it
Yeah.
really?
Oh,
Dang.
it's in
Oh,
April.
2 weeks or something.
it's like
Well,
three.
I don't
3 weeks
think-
out.
No, today's March 19th. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
shit.
that's right. As this
Oh,
airs,
I
this is
forgot
March 19th.
Topher's got hands on that.
Then
Oh,
telephone booth came and
Back to the
Into
future,
wormhole.
dude.
Time traveling shit is so confusing.
Can you imagine how fucked up Pirate would be if we actually did some time travel?
But
He'd be like, man, I don't even know what's going on right now.
when we get our
I'm
time
so drunk
machine,
and confused.
we'll just go back in time and record this podcast, and then it'll already be here for us.
Oh, here's a mind fuck for you. How about we take the time travel device and take Pirate back to Prohibition? Look
Which would instantly
he's
become
like,
World War II. It'd start
He
right
was
there.
probably the inspiration for it.
Did you have ancestors in the country then? Oh man.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, actually.
I think I did.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
about it,
I
that
think
the
I
event
did.
was centered
Yeah.
around them.
it's like, whoa, no alcohol. This is so weird. Wow.
What do you guys do for fucking anything now with no alcohol?
No alcohol, no internet. You wouldn't know what to do with yourself. You would sit.
Oh, yeah.
You'd sit in the corner and touch yourself for 16 hours a day.
I do that with alcohol.
He
and
does
everything.
that anyway.
Wild Stallions. Whip it out.
Playing with himself is Pirate's favorite game. He always wins.
I was
Actually-
Undefeated.
and play with myself.
Undefeated
Actually,
champion
I
playing with
think
himself.
we're getting with Captain America. We're getting the second Guardians of the Galaxy
Trailer?
trailer.
trailer.
So hopefully
nice.
we'll hear I Am Groot and Rocket Raccoon speak.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear. I definitely want to hear Rocket Raccoon talk, and I want to learn a little bit more about
I heard
his
Groot
character.
says, everybody lives their life, one set or a quarter mile or I live my life a quarter mile at a time or something.
Fucked it up.
Are you trying to say that he's Vin Diesel or some shit?
He is Vin Diesel.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Is that who plays
Yeah.
him?
Vin Diesel does the voice of Groot.
Oh my god!
But the only thing Groot says
I
is,
could have
am
gone
Groot.
the entire lifetime of this movie from now until the day I die and not known that
Well,
he was.
have you ever seen the movie Iron Giant?
No, but have you
Yeah.
seen the video of Vin Diesel dancing to like Lady Gaga because he was excited about the sales of Riddick?
You know what? He can do
If
whatever
you
he wants.
haven't
Have you
seen
seen
that,
any Riddick
fucking
movie?
pause this
Fuck
podcast
that.
and go watch that shit because it is creepy as shit. He looks like he looks like a pervert, like dancing, watching a little movie to little boys or something.
You saying
All I
he
can
likes
say
little
is Vin
boys?
Diesel will always have a home on Nerd Nation simply because of the Riddick films. Motherfucker's epic. I don't care. He
And-
can do whatever he wants. I love
But
him.
wow, it's like. Vin
I mean,
Diesel.
would I have him as a guest? Yes. Would I make fun of him for his little like homoerotic dance where he was like grabbing his crotch every 12 seconds? Yes, I would. I
He might punch
absolutely
you in
would
the
have
head.
to say something to him about that.
And steal your car.
Yeah, punch me in the head, steal my car, and
I think he could take you.
probably, but I mean, whatever. I'm not worried about it.
Knock, knock, knock.
Yeah. Till
Pause
somebody
him.
knocks on the door.
And then he comes running
Can
in.
you imagine the publicity for the podcast though?
Yeah, you think his lady?
I'd let him punch
I
me in
think-
the. I'd let him punch me in the face for that
This
kind
week,
of publicity. Shit.
Vin Diesel eviscerates Fox 2 on camera.
Now, okay,
Wow.
now we're talking something a little bit more serious. Eviscerating, I'm not okay with. I kind of like my guts inside my body.
A pummeling he can deal
Yeah,
with. An evisceration he
I
cannot.
could take a couple punches from Vin Diesel for some popularity, but I don't think I'm gonna let him gut me on camera.
As long as you have time to render the video before you bleed out.
Bleed out.
Yeah, right. I think
Whoa,
Pirate said something
man,
about he
I'm
would let
bleeding
him
out.
get up in the guts for some popularity, though, right? You said you'd take
What?
it in the tailpipe, wouldn't you?
Why
Yeah.
is this always got to be resort to my butt bone, dude? Just, no.
Whoa!
He wants-
Wow.
He wants to let the wild stallions roam free.
Oh God, that was okay. All right. On that
I'll
note,
fucking
I
shit
think we have
on
covered
defense.
everything comic book in the comic book realm, as well as way outside of the comic book realm. Make sure you guys check out the comic book Nerd Nation website, comicbooknerdnation.com. Register for the forums. Give us some feedback. Give us some suggestions. If you're an artist or a writer that happens to be watching this and you're interested in being on the show, contact us through the forums, and we'll see if we can't set something up for you. Other than that, I think that's it for this week. We're signing out. This is Fox 2. I got the Pirate,
See you guys.
Topher,
Bye.
and F and Brian.
I
Wow.
know it's coming. I fucking knew it.
Sorry.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.